Alright, now let's talk about functions in PowerShell. So function is a named block of code and executed whenever you call the function name. So in PowerShell, to create a function, we can just write the function keyword and then you write the function name. So let's say I'm creating a function named greetings, and now we do this, and now we created a function. Now if I just write here anything, and let's say I just write host and just greetings, okay, and now if I save this, come back to the PowerShell window, let me just quickly set the execution policy to bypass, and the way we do that is PowerShell execution policy bypass. Now we execute the script. As you can see, currently we don't see anything because we haven't called the function that we created. So in order to call the function, we just need to write the name of the function like this. So if I execute the same thing again, as you can see, we got the greetings string displayed in a terminal. So now that is the basic way we create a function. Now we can duplicate this, like let's say special greetings, and let's say we write, and we have another row, how are you. This is a special greetings, okay. So now if I call this function, that is special greetings, and I come here and execute, as you can see, now we have the special greeting function block of code executed, not this one. So now we can call this one as well like this. So now in the new line, I will call that, and you can see now we have two of them. So this is the second special greeting method, and this is the first method. The method and functions are used interchangeably. So when I say method, which mean function, so this is like the object-oriented terminology where a function is called method. So and mostly generally we call functions and methods interchangeably. So you can call it method as well as function. It's on you. So now we created two methods. Now we can call it as many times as you want. So no, not this way. So if I do this, let's say I call the greeting method 4 times and I execute, as you can see now this is displaying the greetings keyword string 4 times. So now that is how the basic greetings functions are generated in PowerShell. Now we can pass parameters. Let's say we will pass a name. The way we add parameters is like this, and now I can like pass that parameter from here, but we need to add the braces, the quotes, and here I will pass the name. So let's say Tauseed, and here let's say I want to greeting and Tauseed. So I will do this, and now I will add the name here. And if I call the method again, as you can see, greeting, and then the parameter that was passed, which was Tauseed in this case. Now we can do the same thing for this one. We can do the same thing for this one. Let's say name, and after hello we will display the name, and I will call the special greeting method. And if I save this and execute, as you can see, hello Tauseed, how are you. So that is the parameters. Now this is not just related about one parameter. We can pass as many parameters as you want. So let's say this is a time, like we want to add good afternoon or good something like that. So if I do $time, and here I want to add comma and then good and then the time, and there is a second parameter. Let's say I want to pass morning. So now if I save this will say hello Tauseed, good morning, as I pass here, and then how are you. So if I come here and execute, as you can see, we have hello Tauseed, good morning, and then how are you. So that is the second parameter that we add. Now we can add as many parameters as we want. And whenever we hover over the function where we call this, when you have the PowerShell extension installed in VS Code, you will see this thing as well. Like if I come here and search for PowerShell, as you can see, I have these two extensions installed. So if you are on VS Code, I would recommend to install these. As you can see, it has updates. Well, I haven't updated them. Maybe I will update them later on. But the extension helps us to complete and understand the code easily. So now in the parameters, there are like we can add as many parameters as we want. But let's say we have the parameter, and I don't want to pass any value to that. So I mean, like if I do this, the second parameter is don't do not have any value. So if I call the method, as you can see, nothing is displayed there. So we have the default value for the parameters. So let's say the default value is the time is morning. And now if I just pass the Tauseed, and I don't want, I am not passing the second parameter. And if I call that again, as you can see, the morning is automatically over there added. If I remove this, we can add ferams here. This is the method that we can use. So now here we will pass the parameter names as well as the types, and we can set as optional and required. So let's say the parameter, and then this is the mandatory. Mandatory is set to true. Now this is considered required, and this is name, and the same for the time. So if I write here time, and this is also required. So now if I call the method without passing the parameter that is mandatory, it will throw an error. So if I come to the terminal and call the method, as you can see, the time it asks, it is required. So if we don't pass it, it asks to pass that parameter. So if I say, let's say morning, and now it frames that. Now we can set this to optional. So instead of true, we will set that to false. And if I call that, it says it is not recognized. So I save this. No, this is, oh yeah, here we go. So I was executing the morning, not the actual script. So as you can see, now that is considered optional. And if I set this to true, now this is considered required. So when you execute that, it will ask you to enter the value for that. So if you enter any value, it will execute this. Another option we have here is the data type. So we can set the data type for the parameter. So let's say this should be string, and let's say I want to set this to integer, or in this case it should be string, but in somehow let's check if let's say I want this to be integer. So we can set that like this. Now if I save this and execute the script, and if I pass the string value, you can see this is not recognized the n32. So now this throws error because the value is not integer. Now this case, as you can see, it returns some random error. We can create our own custom errors. So those are the basic things related to functions in PowerShell. See you in the next section.